404 Media. I love them. Go check out 404 Media. Released in January 2026. Oh, that's right now. Oh, that's right now. Details how ICE uses a sophisticated surveillance tool to track movement within specific neighborhoods by drawing digital boundaries around them. We're being surveilled by the president's private police force that apparently the vice president says just has blanket immunity. I don't know. That seems like a very un-American thing, especially for the party of law and order or odor. Maybe it's both. Law and order and odor. Law, order, and odor. Because I would imagine most of them smell. You'd probably just get like wafts of Big Macs coming at these people. My Christ. Anyways, so I'm gonna play this video for you in a minute, and we're gonna listen to a little bit of how ICE is tracking you when they come to your hood. Ba-ding. But first, welcome to the live stream. I'm Rob. I'm here every weekday, most of the time. I would appreciate it if you hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, so that way you get notified when I go live, and become part of the Spiritual Resistance Warrior Network. Man, I'm telling you, those religious grifters, there's something else, you know? Little Joe Osteen. I feel like I need to take a page out of their book, not for monetary reasons, but for the meme-spirational reasons, you know? I feel like those pastors get up there and they feel like they could, you know, sell popsicles to a woman in white gloves, as they say. But no, join the coalition, join the family, join the resistance, join this, I don't know how to describe what's going on right now. Collapsing empire, crumbling capitalism, decaying empire. There's so many different ways to describe it. And join the side that history will remember as the ones who took a stand and said, no fucking way, man. Hit subscribe. All right, welcome. We're going to play America's a third world country now. And I have that on good authority from somebody who has been to third world countries. If you don't know who Jesse the Body Ventura was, he at one point... Okay, cat, get the out of here, man. This is Mr. Jesse Ventura. I interviewed him when I was in radio. He's a fascinating guy. He's a fascinating guy. But how he started was in wrestling. Got his name, got his notoriety, I believe, first in wrestling, in the fame world. He was a Navy SEAL in the military, but as the public knew him, Jesse the Body Ventura, when it was the WWF. That's when I remember wrestling. And then they had to change the name because the WWF was actually the World Wildlife Federation. Anyways, and then Jesse became governor of Minnesota. And he had some comments that I'm going to play the audio for you. But before that, before we get into Jesse's comments on ICE, what America has become right now, a third world country. You know, one of those countries that Donald Trump called shithole countries. He certainly did a number on ours. But what do you expect from a guy who bankrupts multiple casinos, you know? You never trust a guy with the country who you can't trust with a casino. That's just my rule of thumb. But some of you dummies out there, you know, thought you were smarter. You were like, no. You know who my vote's for? You know who I want to fix the economy? The guy who couldn't even run 3 casinos. That's my vote. Okay, we see you. Please shut up. Don't say anything in the comments if that's you. For the rest of you, where are you from? How you doing? How are things getting along for you? How about that, huh? Are things getting along? And I hope you take a moment to hit subscribe, notification bell. Clearly, I'm not supported by corporations, but I am supported by viewers like you. It's an old PBS quote. For you young kids, PBS used to have television shows that as a youth you could watch. Mr. Rogers, Sesame Street. But Donald Trump declared it all woke and defunded it. So guess we're fucked. Here is the 404 media report talking about how they detail ICE using a sophisticated surveillance system to track entire neighborhoods.
Neighborhood and see the location of every phone inside it. As thousands of federal agents deployed to cities like Minneapolis, an exclusive report from 404 Media reveals the surveillance tool they're using to hunt people down. It's called Weblock. Here's how it works. An agent draws a shape on a digital map, a city block, a workplace, or a protest site. The system instantly pulls up the history of every mobile phone that's been inside that shape. It shows where you sleep, where you work, and who you spend time with. It creates a pattern of life analysis to predict your next move. They don't need a warrant, they don't need a subpoena, they just buy the data from apps installed on your phone right now. Yesterday, an ICE agent shot and killed a US citizen in Minneapolis during an operation. Today we know they have the technology to watch the entire city without leaving their
desk. It cut off there. My apologies. That again is a video talking about the report by 404 Media where ICE is tracking your city, surveilling you. And listen, I'm not the one to give, too much advice. But let's just say you were going to go out to a protest. Let's just say, let's do a Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro, his famous couple of words are, let's say all the homes, global warming rises all the oceans and all the homes get undercovered by water. Those people will just sell their homes. To who, Ben? Aquaman, you fucking nerd. So let's do a Ben Shapiro. Let's say you're going to go to a protest. Let's say you were going to stand up for America, the Constitution, the rule of law, and all decency in this country that's left. Let's say you wanted to do that and still be able to stay in touch with people. Let's say a good idea, because now let's say we know that let's say ICE is, let's say, surveilling your entire neighborhood. Let's say you should probably pick up a burner phone, let's say. And let's say you just let a few key people know the number of that burner phone. And that way, if you need to, you won't be tracked by your phone. But let's say you just have a burner phone. So good God. Good God. Good God. Some of these, listen, comment section, you're not bringing your best. They're not bringing the best, okay? They're bringing the... What did he say? What did that orange turd said? I remember when people used to freak out over red light cameras. They don't want a surveillance state, but they're okay with all these new surveillance tactics by ICE. Thank you, Alma. Yeah, right? I will always fucking find it sad, hilarious. That's a word I had to create here, because it's sad, but it's also fucking hilarious. That these Republicans... that these maggots, they want limited government, but they're totally fine with ICE being able to block out and digitally map your tracking or your movements by tracking you throughout the city you live in. Just predict where you're going to be, so if they want to fuck with you, they can. And everybody's just okay with this? You're all just okay with that? Okay. The party of small government wants their private police force with immune... What did JD Vance say that dude had? Blanket immunity? Was it blanket? I forget. But he basically said he's got immunity. So they want a police force who cannot be held accountable by anybody. No rule of law can hold this private presidential police force accountable to also be able to track you. That's the party of small government? Make it make sense. Make it make sense, Siri. Just kidding, Siri. Don't get triggered. All right, let's get into Jesse, the body, Ventura, who said, and if any of you little piss weasels try to say that he doesn't know what he's talking about when he calls America a third world country, why don't you shut your yapper? I wish I knew. Did Jesse the body have a wrestling phrase? We're gonna lay a body down on that one. I don't know. I don't watch wrestling, so I would imagine he probably had a look, right? The Rock had a look. What did The Rock do? He went something with his eyebrows? I don't know. The Rock was like, can you smell the cookum cracking? Crack 'em cooking? And who else? Steve Austin, he had a wrestling phrase, right? The Warrior, he was just known for what? Doing hallucinogenics? I don't know. Hulk Hogan, he was like, you hear that traitorous beer selling? Hulk Hogan, what a shitbag. Good God, that man. And we know that because Jesse the Body Ventura also gave the full story that Hulk Hogan broke up the Wrestlers Union when Jesse was trying to form one. So here is Jesse the Body Ventura. Show some respect for this man. One-time governor, former Navy SEAL, wrestler, and conspiracy theorist. I think I got all his titles.
No, I'm just saying, as a graduate of Roosevelt High School and as the former
They're catching him walking out of Roosevelt High School, I believe, just so you know. I don't know what he was doing there. I would have been like, Jesse, what are you doing here? No, he's probably showing up in solidarity. So they're catching him outside to get a quick interview, and the stuff he says is haunting.
governor of Minnesota, I'm so proud of Roosevelt High School and how they stood up for what is supposed to be America and freedom. And freedom is not arresting people without warrants.
Freedom is not arresting people without warrants.
We have a system here. It's called a constitution.
Due process, etc., etc.
And we have a party, the Republicans, who don't seem to want to abide by the Constitution. January 6th is a prime example of that. And now they're all free and they're in charge. You know what? Maybe it's time for Jesse. I only did one term. I'm owed a second.
Oh, you gotta listen. Sometimes the news is extremely serious, right? Like, these are serious topics we're addressing. But you gotta take a moment and realize you can take the boy out of wrestling. You can never take the wrestler out of the boy. Jesse the Body Ventura just laid down the greatest tease, and I don't even watch wrestling, but I know wrestling teasers, ever. Did you hear what he said? Let me replay this. This was incredible. Talking about a second run for governor, and Jesse the Body Ventura says this.
And now they're all free and they're in charge. You know what? Maybe it's time for Jesse. I only did one term. I'm owed a second.
God damn, and then he started to walk away. That's hot shit right there. Listen, kids at home, and by kids, I mean, you 20-year-old incels that think, women are the problem in the world, and it's nothing to do with your attitude or the fact that you guzzle Joe Rogan like he was fucking hot dogs on fucking Hot Dog Tuesday night, or wherever you go with your little fucking friends. Listen to me. That's Riz, okay? If I understand what the word Riz means, charisma, right? Anyways, this dude's laying down Riz. When you walk out of frame, when you finish the interview and they weren't done interviewing you, dropping a hit like this.
January 6th is a prime example of that. And now they're all free and they're in charge. You know what? Maybe it's time for Jesse. I only did one term.
I'm owed a second. Oh, God, you hear him on Mr. Ventura, Mr. Ventura. He's like, maybe it's time for Jesse. I only did one term. I'm owed a second. And I'm coming for justice. That was amazing, huh? Good God. I don't even know his platform, and I would vote for him just on that teaser. Now there we go. Isn't that what MAGA did? They just were like, oh, those are fancy exotic words he's saying. Never mind all his previous actions. Let me vote for that man. No. I know a little something about this guy. And I like what he's saying, what he's putting down. Let's continue on with Jesse the Body Ventura's interview, and I hope he is owed a second term, this time for president.
Can you tell us,
because you know what? That's the other thing. Listen. The president I want next is somebody who's going to hold everyone in this regime accountable to the full extent of the law. Hague. We're going to do tribunals. We're going to seek justice for all the injustices that are happening right now. And you know who I think would not be bought out? Not have corporatocracy influence the course of this country because, whatever corporate language they want to use. You know, and that's what's happening. All these corporations are just buying off politicians and funding all of politics so much that no one can even make a decision, never mind hold anyone accountable. And my Christ, if you got enough money, you can just purchase a pardon now. What's the point of even having a justice system? I think Jesse the Body Ventura, would 100% hold everybody accountable in this. Remember, this man's a Navy SEAL. So, you know, he takes the Constitution seriously, and I respect that.
Dennis, you went to school here?
I went to school here. I'm a 1969 graduate of Minneapolis Roosevelt. I'm proud of them for what they did. They made me proud as an alumni. Go Teddies.
What are your thoughts? I know we're jumping in, probably doubling up on
That's
some
right.
of his questions, but what are some of your thoughts about what unfolded yesterday? And then after that, what you saw
Well,
unfold here?
I've told you already. We're a country of the Constitution.
Welcome if you're just joining us. When people stop talking about it and do something, people are doing something. We're organizing, Puppy Paws. Love the name. And keep organizing. And that's why I do this show, to broadcast to everybody in the family, the coalition, the resistance, the superfly leftist comrades. Solidarity to you. And everybody new here, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm Rob. I go live every weekday. Yep, Jesse did live down in Mexico for a while. That's actually when we were talking to him, when we were interviewing him. He was doing a conspiracy theory TV show, and then I think it turned into a podcast, maybe? That was a long time ago. Jeez. Hi, good. Hey, what's up, Pink Fur? Good to see you. Jesse the Mind Ventura. It was the body, but the body and mind. Ooh, maybe he can come back, rename. And all you MAGA supporters that want to troll the chat, just know you support a PDF file, largest trafficking ring in American history, and you care nothing for this country. You're all class traitors and American traitors, and you're repugnant to most decent humans. So shut your mouth, especially if you're some foreign fucking agent, one of these Russian actors like Tim Pool or fucking, you know, one of these corporate paid Ben Shapiro. Let me tell you what to do while I play the violin from a nice fucking studio. Oh, let me tell you, no one should want to retire. Fuck you, Ben Shapiro. You know what? Go get a goddamn real job. Go work minimum wage for a little bit and then tell people they shouldn't retire, you bitch. You know, coming up in all that money, have the balls to tell the working people what to do. Fuck you, Ben. And all you little trolls that want Ben and Tim Pool, go to their stream. You ain't got to stay here, all right? We're going to talk about real American shit, stuff that is too scary for you. You know, we're not going to talk about, hey, the others are coming for us. We're talking about, hey, the others are those J6ers and their leader who's in office right now, and they're all traitors to America. And they're disassembling this country. Disassembling. You see this? Donald Trump said, withdrawing the United States from international organizations, conventions, and treaties that are contrary to the interests of the United States. Let's see what's contrary to the interests of the United States. Education cannot wait? Huh, interesting. Freedom Online Coalition? Interesting. Global Counterterrorism Forum? Well, if it isn't interesting enough that when this regime declared Antifa, which, as you know, is anti-fascist, which every American should be. We fought fascism in World War II. We fought against the Italians and the Germans, you know, the fascists and the Nazis. So every American should be. Every person who served in World War II is Antifa, anti-fascist. When this government, or this fascist regime, when Donald Trump declared Antifa the enemy of the state, what did that say about them? Well, if Antifa, anti-fascism, is your enemy, which is an ideology, you're against this slick, uncharismatic leader who sets himself above the rule of law and implies military force everywhere in the country. When Antifa, anti-fascism, is your enemy, what does that make you? Well, let's figure this out. Everybody at home, no cheating, take out your calculators. Well, if Mussolini was fascist in World War II and America was fighting him, meaning they were anti-fascist, who did you think were the good guys? America or the fascists? Now we fast forward to 2025 and Donald Trump's America declares Antifa the enemy, making them FA. Who do you think the good guy is? Who do you think the bad guy is? I'm not going to correct your answers until next week, so submit them all, and I appreciate you. Let's get back to Jesse, the body, Ventura.
Constitution. We have leadership now that has destroyed the Constitution. They don't follow it. They could care less about it. Am I right or wrong? I took an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I view after January 6th, the Republican Party as a domestic enemy to our Constitution. I can't get any bolder than that, can I?
And you obviously saw the video that the student shot outside here, and that obviously elicited a lot of emotions for you. Just
What do
watching
you mean
that,
the student shot?
there were some
outside?
students who shot the video of the chaos here yesterday. It was
No, I
nice.
didn't even
Oh,
see
you didn't
it.
see it? Okay, I thought
I
you
didn't
did.
see it.
Okay, okay.
The only thing I've seen is the murder.
So talk about, you were a student here. When did you graduate? In
1969.
Have you been back here? Talk about that. Is this like first time back?
No. Came back.
Also, if you want to watch this video, I usually link articles. I link this one, the White House announcement withdrawing from international organizations, declaring that, oh, that's what I was getting at, that if they're declaring global counterterrorism forum are contrary to the interests of the United States, maybe they're declaring themselves terrorists. Just like Antifa and FA. If you declare Antifa your enemy, that makes you fascist. If you say global counterterrorism is against our interest, maybe you're a terrorist. Things are starting to line up. We're just trying to piece together the dots, put together the puzzle. Just make a spot of tea. What are they saying in the UK? I don't know. We're just trying to figure this out. And if these things are against the United States interests, I'm starting to think if they're not for countering terrorism, maybe they're just for terrorism. People, they're telling you who they are. Believe them. When these fascists tell you who they are, believe them. And don't be one of the bootlickers. Don't. Okay, bootlickers, you're going to get stepped on. So don't think, ooh, I'm not on the list. You're on the list. You're just above the other people. Back to Jesse Ventura.
Back to homecoming 2 years ago. No. I'm a proud graduate. I held 3 school records in swimming, 2 District 17 records. Our football team was undefeated. We won. Back then there were no playoffs. We played St. Paul Central and we did that. They used to play the Twin City Championship game. There weren't.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. If you want to watch this video, I did not link this down below. This is on Fox 9 Minneapolis St. Paul YouTube channel. Okay.
I support as a graduate of Roosevelt and tell them how proud I was of what they did of keeping ICE off of this campus. This is a place of learning, and you learn things like the Constitution. You learn about warrants. You learn about things of that nature. And what we're getting right now is violating all that, what kids are being taught. You want to know something? I'll give you a quote. We're a third world country now.
America, third world country now. I've been saying this shit for a while, folks. I'm glad Jesse's finally backing me up on this, but if you can't give your people health care, can't guarantee housing, 1 in 5 children, probably more now, but you know, the fascists in the White House deleted all the statisticians, data people, and researchers. He just said, get rid of them. We'll make our own numbers, and the morons will believe it. I'm guessing it's higher, or, you know, a greater percentage of kids than 1 in 5 that are starving every night in America. And you're wealthy. You're a wealthy nation. You got a trillionaire, a illegal South African immigrant, Elon Musk trillionaire, who's guzzling taxes, our tax money, out of the government, set himself up for some nice contracts, no taxes on it, but siphoning ours. And you can have that, but you can't feed, you can't house, you can't even provide health care for your population. To me, that's a third world country. I mean, who gives a shit about anything if you have bad health, no home, and no food, right? I would say those are three key essentials. I don't know about you. Maybe you want to be one of the ones that says, gas is $2.50. And I say, good luck taking some gas for that flu you got. Weird. Weird. But maybe, maybe it's something Joe Rogan said and I haven't heard it. I don't know. Is gasoline the new, ivermectin? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
You want to know why? I'm an expert. I've been to them.
Whoa.
I spent 17 months in Southeast Asia while the draft dodger was playing golf.
I want to rewind this. I want you to pay attention. While Donald Bone Spurs Jeffrey Epstein best friend Trump was bone spurring it up on the golf course during Vietnam. Remember, Donald Trump only had bone spurs during Vietnam. We've never heard of them since. I won't go into how he got the doctor's note for bone spurs. It might have been a family friend owed a favor by a heavy leverage mob type of dad. Who knows? But those bone spurs only lasted during Vietnam. And while Donald was probably rehabilitating his bone spurs on the golf course or creeping out younger women, Jesse was serving in the military.
You learn about things of that nature, and what we're getting right now is violating all that, what kids are being taught. You want to know something? I'll give you a quote. We're a third world country now. You want to know why? I'm an expert. I've been to them. I spent 17 months in Southeast Asia while the draft dodger was playing golf, right? You know how I know we're a third world country? Because in third world countries, they have the military doing their police work in the cities when you walk around. I was in the Philippines the day Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law and went under dictatorship. We went from nobody to a guy with a machine gun on every corner. That's what happens in a dictatorship. In comes the military. That's what's happening here.
You can choose to believe what you want. I usually like to talk to older heads, the old heads, get my wisdom from them. Hey, old man, you ever been through something like this? What's your advice? In retrospect, what were the mistakes? I love getting advice from older people. I unfortunately don't have many older people in my family. Most of them have passed away. And you could think that, be not smart. You could think you can go your own way, little Stevie Nicks. But I think overall, it's always good to get another opinion of somebody, a veteran of life, right? Jesse's outlining that he was in the Philippines when a dictatorship rolled in, declared martial law. Essentially, this fascist tyrant, Trump, who's just trying to hide the Epstein files. They were supposed to be released months ago. Everybody's illegally withholding, I think, 98% of them, like millions of pages of files, videos, all that stuff Pam Blondie said she had on her desk. Heinous videos of the president, I'm guessing. I don't know. Why isn't she releasing them? This dude is talking about Donald Trump's private police that J.D. Vance is now saying has broad immunity to just not have to abide by American laws. Is that the party of law and order? They give immunity to anybody who breaks the law in their name? Sounds more like a cult. Sounds more like a fascist regime. Sounds more like dictatorship than anything. So I trust Jesse when he calls ICE on all the streets of any political opponent or any... Remember how this Minnesota thing started? The grifter on YouTube, what's his name? Nick Small Dick Shirley, who lied and had that bullshit video that went viral because, Republicans are just fucking morons. They're just so gullible. My God, people, if you voted for Donald Trump, how did you think a guy who bankrupted 3 casinos was going to fix a fucking economy? Jesus, we need school in this country like more than ever. And that's the funniest part about MAGA. While they're desecrating higher education, defunding public education, they got MAGA cheering all the way. Yeah, get rid of that woke knowledge. Bring the industry back so I could get a bad job at an iPhone plant that I don't have the training for. Well, I got to go to school for that? Oh, damn. We got rid of all the schools. Like, you fucking morons. It's good to know things. Jesus. Sorry. Side tirade. ICE agents are the new brown shirts, puppy paws. Oh man, see, this is why sometimes I can't read the comments, because it's usually the stupid motherfuckers that are chirping. They like to chirp. You don't know what woke is. No, you fucking dummy. You got the internet in your hand and you don't know what it is. Shut the up. I don't know why some people like to come into my live stream and go, look at how stupid I am. I'm a beautiful peacock of stupid. Look at my stupid plumage. Look at the stupid words I say. Ooh, look at me. Look at how dumb I can be. Ooh, God damn, man. I need you to calm down. Your stupidity is at an 11. I need you to turn it back to an 8. Okay? Just calm it back a little bit. We get it. You want some attention. You're like, let me say the dumbest shit I can. But you think it's smart. You're like, oh, I gotta get this guy. And everybody else is like, look at this fucking moron. Oh my God. Can you downvote a fucking comment? Holy shit, guy. But again, proves my point that we need education in this country. We need it, because there's a lot of dumb motherfuckers. A lot of you, so many that, Donald Trump's president. I don't think he got it legit. Remember when you incels were saying the 2020 election was stolen and then magically 2024 was perfect? I think you are weak, just like Donald Trump thinks you're weak. Remember when he called you weaklings? That was funny. You took it like the bitch you are. But yeah, the president called you weak, and I agree with him. Because if you're going to say, oh, that election was stolen, but not the next one, really? Where's your chutzpah? You say they're all stolen. Oh, that's right. Your guy took the next one. So, of course, you couldn't bitch and complain and be a victim again, right? You couldn't cry for 4 years saying, let's go Brandon. Let's go Brandon. You could just say, fuck Donald Trump. This is America. Free speech, bitches. Fuck him. Okay? I don't got to hide. I don't got to say, let's go, Brandon. I got a t-shirt that says it. I have t-shirts that say fuck. My mom got me a t-shirt that's a middle finger on it. You know why? Because I'm not bitch made. If I'm going to make a statement, I'm going to make a statement. I'm not going to hide behind let's go, Brandon, for 4 years. And then magically all the voting machines are good again. Thank you, my pillow guy. In the name of our pillow, our bed, our mattress, and our sheets. Thank you, Mike Pillows. Or whatever that crack addict's name is. Is he alive still? Anyways, let's get back to Jesse Ventura. How you guys doing? You guys hanging in there? Everybody that's not MAGA, Everybody that's like, hey, America's crumbling right now. We're on the brink of fucking collapse. They're just starting wars everywhere, confiscating land, recolonizing Earth, even though it's already been colonized. And Jesse Ventura is like, I've been to third world countries. We're a third world country. The military is on the streets. This private brown shirt police force of ICE that has immunity to just shoot American citizens and not have to have any repercussions. The party of law and order that sent them out is happening right now. And I've witnessed this in real time in my military career. That's what Jesse's saying. He is a beautiful man. I'll tell you that. If I didn't know who he was and you said, what do you think this guy's life story is? I don't want to brag, but I would have guessed wrestler, conspiracy theorist, military, governor. I would have hit all of them. I would have bang, bang, bang. He's just got that look and that voice. You know what I mean? Some people I put in a box. It's a beautiful box, but I put him in that box. He is definitely a wrestling governor, Navy SEAL, conspiracy theorist, red-blooded American with a hell of a voice.
Police work in the cities when you walk around. I was in the Philippines the day Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law and went under dictatorship. We went from nobody to a guy with a machine gun on every corner. That's what happens in a dictatorship. In comes the military. That's what's happening here. And people better wake up to it. You want to read something? Then read your history of Germany and start comparing the tactics of what happened in 1930s Germany to what's happening here.
God bless, I don't know if I salute, but God bless Jesse Ventura. Thank God somebody got this interview of him leaving the high school, because this is important for kids to hear. And I say kids as anybody younger than me, which is most of you. Bro has to watch his fingers typing, but calling us stupid. That's right. You're a fucking moron. You voted MAGA? You're an idiot. You're a traitor to America. And we will remember. Us leftists, we're taking this country back. We're going to make this fucking country real. You know, that's the problem with you fucking incel, insecure little boys. You hear words like woke and you get all scared. And you don't know what it means. And silly enough, you don't even think to look it up. You guys do know, like Google, DuckDuckGo, Wikipedia, Encyclopedia Britannica, other people. You could just ask people. You could be like, hey, what does this mean? You know, and they could look it up for you if you're too dumb. But you hear words like that. Woke. The immigrants are taking my jobs. Oh, really? Do you work in the fucking strawberry field? Really? The immigrants are taking the housing? There's 25 empty houses for every homeless person in America. What fucking houses are they taking? I would say it's BlackRock and the private investment that fucking now Donald Trump's like, oh, hey, look, we're going to stop private investors from taking the homes. That's always been the real cause. Why do you think they call them lands of the Lord? Sorry. Lords of the land. Landlords? Whatever it is. America, you got lords. That's cute. But you hear this shit, and you get very insecure. You think all your problems are caused by the others, whether they be women, minorities, other marginalized groups. You know, marginalized groups. Smaller groups than your population. They're the ones that have all the money, all the housing, all the resources, all the jobs, but just got here? Make it make sense, man. I'm begging you to fucking walk this through. Walk this point all the way out. But you hear shit like that and you get terrified. You think my country's going? Well, I don't even want to say, because I think I know what most of you MAGAs really think. You know, it's a race thing. And you get scared of that, you know. Probably grew up in one town. You know that. You know that stoplight well. Didn't really meet many others. You just knew what was good old until everybody started losing their job and times got tough and everybody got hooked on opioids, right? I get it. And you think that's whose fault? Well, let me tell you, if you just pay attention, read a little bit, study any history, or just, you know, read the news badly, you can find that most of these corporations that are funding this fascist regime or funding their way out of any accountability, like the Sacklers and the opioid crisis, fuck you, Sackler family. You knew exactly what you did to our country, which is still going on, by the way. You know, the whole Venezuela thing and WMDs for fentanyl, that's not how you help a country. You don't go after a country that doesn't make the drug, number one, but you also you invest in healthcare, rehab, resources, community reintegration, shit like that, shit that works. You can look at other countries that have did this. But you incel little maggots, M-A-G-A-T-S, you get so terrified and so fooled by these people who have never once had your back. Donald Trump has never done anything for you. He's done the opposite. He's ensured that all his rich friends always know before you know, sell before you sell, buy before you buy, tax breaks before you ever get anything, health care before you have anything. He will fucking shut tariffs down so your farm goes under while old Tim Apple, remember when he called Tim Cook Tim Apple? Well, Tim Apple donates a gold glob to him, and all of a sudden, no tariffs for Apple. He doesn't give a shit about you. But because he's a white, rotund, I can't say white, orange, badly fucking sprayed orange, like a clement, like a golden French fry that's been sitting in the fryer too long, like that color orange. But because he's that color, you know, you trust him implicitly, which is silly. Don't do that. And you believe and stay on every word he says. And you don't double check anything. And even when you can see the video of what really happened, and he says, don't listen to what your eyes and ears are telling you. You listen to me. You focus on me. You just believe what I say. You regurgitate it, and you don't care. It doesn't matter that we are decimating law and order in this country. We're allowing people, because it's team sports, politics is, because our team is in control, and that makes you feel safe because you think you're on their team. Little side note right here. I'm going to take a bit from George Carlin. It's a big club. You're not in it. If you think you're on Donald Trump's team and you're not Tim Apple or fucking Jeff Bezos or one of those very wealthy men that was at his inauguration, I hate to break this to you. You're not on his team. If you live in podunk fucking America, you're not on his team. Even if you live in Florida and go to that absolute shithole of a fucking country club that probably looks like some, you know, Russian oligarch designed the interior, even if you pay $100,000 to go there, you're not on his team. That dude doesn't have any teams. Go look at anybody that's worked for him. Go look at his children. How many of them? He doesn't even like his own kids. Jesus. And you think you're on his team. So I implore you, stop being so fear-based in your decision-making and start waking up to what's happening in America. Because we're done with maggots of the MAGA cult telling us they believe in law and order or any kind of bullshit. You don't. You're just hateful and really scared. Anybody who could cheer on the heinous things that are happening right now, saying shit like ice, ice, baby, or any of that troll talk, karma will come. But when us leftists take over, we're going to get back to Jesse Ventura in a minute, like I was starting. When us leftists take over, we're going to have to re-educate some of you. We're going to have to teach you what socialism is, teach you what fucking actually making a country great is, and we're going to have to teach you to stop using woke in a stupid way. Woke doesn't mean everything you're scared of. I know you use it as everything you hate, but we just know it's everything you're scared of, like learning, shit like that. Who else would want to defund education? Is that a great country? The dumbest one out there? You're cheering on defunding your own country's education? Huh. Interesting way to make a country great. Make them dumber. Okay. But when us leftists take over, no one's ever going to call an Uber again. The ambulance will be paid for by billionaires' taxes. We will tax billionaires out of existence. Anything over $999 million, taxed at 100%. You won't have to pay for your health care. And if you lose your job, you won't have to worry because it will be nationalized health care. We're going to nationalize the grid. We're going to take back we're going to have to do what Venezuela had, and we're going to have to nationalize the oil resources because let's just face it, these corporations have just gotten way too greedy. You know, never is enough. So we, the people, really, this should be a community, this country, and we have enough food. Go to any dumpster at closing time of Walmart, Kmart. Does that exist anymore? Probably not. Bradley's, Woolworth. Is there a Woolworth still Anybody? No? Sears? Okay. I guess we're just left with Walmart and the two grocery the two grocery chains that run every grocery store in America. There's two of them. Doesn't matter the branding, they're owned by two people. Two different corporations, which technically in America, they're people, right? Corporations are people. Wow, we're fucked. So when leftists take over, you're going to go, damn, these grifters had me tricked. They had me thinking that universal healthcare was like dumb, but I like not paying a copay. I like getting prescriptions. I like being able to see a doctor. You're going to go, wow, I can get a higher education if I really want to pursue, I don't know, streamer university. Is that a thing? Can you do that? Fortnite U? And you're like, I want to go get a bachelor's degree in Fortnite University. You'll be able to do that. Why not? I ask you, why not? I know your answer. You're like, because I want other people to suffer. I got it pretty good, I haven't experienced those things you're talking about, but I just like other people suffer, and that's what makes me feel good. Fuck that. One life. We have the resources. There's definitely the money. We have trillionaires, guys. Trillionaires while kids in America starve. 1 in 5 kids go hungry. For the person who's like, you think 20% of... It's not what I think. These are facts. You have Google, right? Stop writing shit in the chat and just go Google it. Just go Google 1 in 5 kids in America, food insecure. If you don't know what food insecure is, that's a fancy word corporations use to say, go hungry every night. That's what food insecure means. It means every night they don't know if they're going to eat. And 1 in 5 kids in America doesn't know if they're going to eat every night. So instead of questioning where I get my information from, I'm not Ben Shapiro or Tim Pool. I don't take my money from big oil frackers or Russia. I'm not even funded by anyone besides you, the viewer. Just go Google it, guys. You got Google. Fucking world's at your fingertips, man. I'm encouraging you. Go out there and learn something, And then maybe instead of just trying to deny it in the comments, you'll wake up and go, holy shit, that's really horrifying. And it shouldn't be like this. And then we'll, say, all right, pat him down. He looks like a J6er. Pat that fucker down. All right, back to Jesse Ventura. Sorry for the long tirade, but I have to address some of these, nerds in the fucking comments. Why are they Hungary? I don't know who Hungary is, but maybe one of them's called Hungary. Is that a Filipino guy? Oh, what's up, Sim? Sim Racin's here. What's up? Shut up. Okay, I gotta delete. I hate these people who go, socialism's never worked. You clearly don't fucking know much, do you? What, did you hear Jessica Waters say that? And you just go and repeat it? Tell me anywhere socialism worked. Well, I could tell you about the 1970s and fucking most of South America where they were implementing this shit and the CIA and Milton Friedman cooing the shit out of these countries. But instead, I'll just tell you to read this book, Shock Doctrine by Naomi Klein. And all the history is packed right in here. And you can learn for yourself. So stop saying that shit and block everybody that does that. I'm so done with it. All right, Jesse, continue on. It's a third world country we're living in because the military's on the streets.
Read history. You'll learn from history. And this is nothing new. This is all repeated. This is a game plan, it looks like to me, of what's going on here. How dare Minnesota, we'll take care of ourselves. We don't need federal troops coming in here without warrants.
Some people have said this undermines local law enforcement.
It undermines the entire Constitution. The military cannot be turned loose unless it's a national emergency. They're going to tell me this is a national emergency.
Message for Trump and or message for Governor Walz?
Who was that? You mean the draft dodging coward? I don't call him by name. He's the draft dodging coward who, when it was his time to serve his country, he did what all rich white boys did. I wasn't a rich white boy. I grew up in South Minneapolis. Most of me and all my friends are Vietnam veterans. We had to go. But the rich white boys never had to go, did they? And he didn't have to go, did he? And yet he's going to tell me what courage is?
Are you supporting Governor Walz and Mayor Frey the way they've been outspoken towards?
Absolutely. Good for them and good for these people that stood up. They're teaching their students something, that we are a country, that we have to be a country of law and a country of the Constitution. They're all forgetting about the Constitution of the United States of America. We don't even have it anymore. After January 6th, are you kidding me? And then they all get turned loose and now they're in charge? I gave up on this country when this guy got, I haven't even watched the news since last November. I stumbled onto this, and now look what you've done to me.
Well, thank you for stopping.
Here I was leading a nice, quiet life, and now you've injected me back in here, and probably going to make me the governor of Minnesota again.
And
You can only hope he becomes governor again. Mr. Jesse Ventura, I respect you ultimately for your voice and for your service. And let me just say, when he said, I don't call Trump, he didn't say Trump, but he said, I don't call him by his name. I call him the draft dodging coward. In this manosphere world we're living in, where people think Joe Rogan is, what do they think he is? Alpha? Because he sells pills that are called alpha? I don't know. I think we need a voice like Jesse Ventura. I think he'd be a good person to represent America, especially in a time like this. That's why I wanted to play that interview, that audio for you. Jesse would not like you. I've met Jesse before. Jesus Christ. I know in your mind you need to be like, he would hate you. He would say, get a real job. But I've already said this. When I worked at radio, I've met him. He's like, I don't know what to tell you. It's okay. You need that fantasy to be like, no, Jesse would like me. He'd hate you. He'd say, get a real job. Now I'm going to watch Tim Pool and Joe Rogan, who have real jobs. Right? Right? Where do you get your information from? Jessica Waters on Fox? Is that a real job? Being a rich kid sitting in a seat telling fucking white poor people to hate colored poor people? Is that a real job? Good news. Fucking, if it is, then I think what I do is well enough, okay? If you go and watch Tim Pool, Ben Shapiro, or who are these other turds? Assman Gold, Joe Rogan, don't tell anyone to ever get a fucking real job, okay? Just shut your mouth. Why does MAGA defend PDF files? I don't know, you know? I remember when they used to be like, get all the PDF files. Now they're like, protect them all. Because they have no integrity. Integrity Farms. I love the Joe Rogan defenders. Okay, go watch him take an ice bath. No homo. Do you have to say that? Do Joe Rogan fans have to say no homo every time they're watching him do an ice bath? I always wonder that. You know, because all these men that follow him in his little legion, they're very insecure. They're very insecure. That's the whole, that's, I think, the fountain of comedy that Joe's comedy comes from is just an insecure well. It's just insecurities gushering. And he's like, what could I do to make fun of the most vulnerable people? But I always wondered, like, when you're watching Joe take an ice bath, because that's alpha, do you have to yell no homo? We know James Miller says, we love you, PDF file, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, who probably is all over the Epstein files that still aren't released. That coward dodging draft dodger. Coward, draft dodging. No, what do you call it? What did Jesse call him? A draft dodging coward. That's what James Miller said. Joe Rogan glazers are the worst, 100%. I forgot that's the language now the kids use, glazers. Thank you, Tarot Queen. Appreciate you. Young head in the building. I love the young head. I love the youth. The youth. And like Hassan. I love the new language. Keep evolving that language, folks. It's fun. Someone explain what integrity is? Come on, man. Are you that stupid? Here, I'll explain it. You see Donald Trump? He has none of it. So every action he does is integrity-less. When he calls people out because they dare question him, that's a very fragile, egotistical, feeling threatened, insecure man. So when you stand with integrity, people can say bad things about you. People in my comments always do. And you don't have to address them all. You can let some of them slide off your back. But Donald can't do that. He has no integrity. He says one thing, does another. Remember price of egg? And then he got into office and said, I can't do shit about that. You. That's no integrity. You know how he had 3 wives and cheated on all of them? Even Melania. Like, he was doing Stormy Daniels. That's no integrity. Is that okay? Who was that? Who asked what integrity is? AOW. Do you understand what integrity is now? You could just look at everything Donald Trump does and understand that's not integrity. You didn't know he had 3 wives? Was it Ivana, Marla Maples, Melania? And he cheated on all 3 of them. All 3 of them. That's your conservative family values party. Cheating on all his wives. Okay, interesting. I'm not a liberal, so I don't know what you're talking about. God, listen, if you're going to come into my chat and hear me say I'm a socialist leftist who wants universal health care, nationalize all the oil companies and the electric grid, make Wi-Fi fucking nationalized, take it out of the hands of these corporations, bring it back to the people, free education paid for by billionaires, free ambulance paid for by billionaires, taxes. You can hear all that and think I'm a liberal? You do not belong in this. You do not. See? You do not. It shows me that maybe 18, 19 and just too stupid to know, you know? You just walk around life just knowing a couple of things, right? Couple of things, that's all you gotta know. I think it's funny that people are like, I voted for others to be miserable. We know. I've said this. I've said this a lot. Are you so stupid you can hear me say that and you repeat it back like, haha, look at what I said. I've been saying most of MAGA voted for others to suffer. I know. You guys are the scum of the earth. That's why you're incels. Nobody likes you. And instead of trying to, enjoy life, you went, I need other people to suffer. This is Donald Trump's whole MO. The people who are attracted to Donald Trump, just so you know, are the ones who are like, I like him because when somebody questions him, he makes them suffer. That is the whole thing of MAGA. They're like, you're going to maybe embarrass me or make me feel insecure or based in fear. MAGA's whole thing is if you make me feel scared, I'm going to use all my might and power to fucking dominate you. That's MAGA. I know. And then there's some racism mixed in and some fucking anti-Semitism mixed in and there's all this other, misogyny. Just pick the worst of the worst, Go down that fucking awful tree and hit every stick on the way down. We know. We know. So stop trying to say it like some ta-da, okay? You might be a magician, but put that rabbit back in your butt because we already know. I like the person whose brain is broken. I've seen your comment. I'm just not going to read it. Man, I wish there was like somebody with some dialogue, not just like regurgitated Fox News fucking clips. Oh, well, MAGA, I appreciate all the comments. It's just, I can't really address them. They're just dumb. Oh, here we go. Eddie the Liar. I love how it's always them voting to make the left mad because they know Trump has nothing to run on. It's just good that some of them are like, yes, that's what I did. You know, they were like, I didn't give a shit about egg. You know, I didn't care about making America great. I just wanted to own libs. It's like, I'm not a fucking lib. You know, I hate both parties. Do you agree with the idea of international law? Well, clearly America doesn't. So who gives a shit what I think? You know, I think we have these things for reasons, but I don't know. If all that shit goes out the window, I guess just anybody can Maduro the U.S., right? Right? If you don't believe in international law, an order. It's just weird. It's so weird that maggots were like, we're the law and order party. And Donald Trump is like, law and order. And then they just break every law that they can. If you're in South Boston, you're MAGA. Oh, God. What street you on in South Boston, man? You got some friends there. And I would just say, you know, South Boston pretty working class. Well, not right now. South Boston has really been gentrified, and they've gotten a lot of the families. But I know a few people in that area. I used to live down there, and I would just say there's not many MAGAs down there. So that guy is, I would just say, kind of lying, or maybe he's the incel MAGA that's there. Oh, it's sad. It's sad. It's sad. It's okay. All right, guys. Well, check out, oh, hold on, wait. No, I already played it. I was going to go into, there's a great article that I did link below. By the way, why are they doing my man wrong? Look at that shot. They're trying to make Luigi not look good in these photos, and it didn't even work. They're looking at Luigi was in court, looking at when the trial will be, if they can get some charges knocked off. Just to update you with the news, FBI takes over the case, ICE agent killing, and basically cuts Minnesota's access to evidence out of the picture. But where was the... Ooh, did you see this? This was haunting. U.S. Post Office got a troubling letter sent to employees and contractors. Major crisis imminent. Last time this happened was Yobi. And who knows? Military coming to the streets? I'm not sure. What does it all mean? What does it all mean? Did I not even take a picture of the Marc Maron thing? Maybe I did. Okay, we're going to talk about the Marc Maron thing tomorrow. Marc Maron is back out on podcast tour. I don't know how you'd say that. Marc Maron he's hit a couple podcasts. And if you weren't following, he was criticizing Joe Rogan and the comedy spaceship. Is that what it's called? Comedy Spaceship in Austin? Cute name. And Joe and Joe's gang of Austin comedian assassins, I think that's what their official title is. As soon as Marc Maron ended his podcast, they all went after him. Mark is back out doing some podcasts and talking about that stuff. Really fascinating. There was some good clips, and there's a great article. I linked the article down below. And we'll hit that tomorrow, because we've been going for a little while. For everybody, thank you for joining, except MAGA traders. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. And remember, MAGA, you are traders. They're not releasing the Epstein files. They're breaking the rule of law. They're going against the Constitution. They do not care about anybody, and they're ripping all of our everything away from us. So make sure you hit the notification bell after you hit subscribe. No way Maduro got his cheeks clapped that easy by the whole Marine Corps. AOW, that is an interesting comment. We'll talk about that again. Because, what's his name? Larry Nance, who I believe was in the Navy intelligence. He had a very interesting video. Maybe I'll pull it up tomorrow, talking about how did this Maduro thing go down? Was he handed over? Because it doesn't happen in 43 minutes or whatever it was. So we'll look into that. Peace.